Paul answers an important question. So I ask you, has God rejected his people? Absolutely not. I'm an Israelite, a descendant of Abraham, from the tribe of Benjamin. Were some in Israel faithful? God did not turn his back on his chosen people. Don't you remember reading in the scriptures how Elijah complained to God about the people of Israel? He said, "Lord, they killed your prophets and destroyed your altars. I'm the only one left, and now they want to kill me." But the Lord told Elijah, "I still have 7,000 followers who haven't worshipped Baal." Is there still a remnant? Are they chosen by works of the law or by grace? So too at the present time there's a remnant, chosen by grace. But if it's by grace, it's no longer on the basis of works. Otherwise, grace would no longer be grace. What happened to those who chose not to obey? What then? Israel didn't find what it was looking for, but the elect did find it. The rest were hardened, as it's written. God gave them a spirit of insensitivity, eyes that cannot see, and ears that cannot hear to this day. What did David say? Can even blessings like the feasts be misused in a stupor of self-satisfaction whereby they ignore God? Likewise, David said, "Let their bountiful table become a snare, a trap that makes them think all is well. Let their blessings cause them to stumble, and let them get what they deserve. Let their eyes go blind so they cannot see, and let their backs be bent forever." Why did God allow Israel to stumble? Would God even use human jealousy for good? I ask then, did they stumble that they might fall? May it never be. But by their fall, salvation has come to the Gentiles to provoke them to jealousy. Will Israel's failure bless the nations? But if their failure brings riches to the world, and their defeat brings riches to the Gentiles, how much more will come from the completion of their number? What is God's hope in Israel's jealousy? I'm now speaking to you Gentiles, and as long as I'm an apostle to you, I'll take pride in my work. I hope in this way to make some of my own people jealous enough to be saved. When Israel rejected God, the rest of the people in the world were able to turn to him. So when God makes friends with Israel, it'll be like bringing the dead back to life. Is Israel descended from faithful firstfruits, a root that's holy? If the dough offered as firstfruits is holy, so's the whole lump. And if the root is holy, so are the branches. Should Gentiles brag? Now if some of the branches were broken off, and you, though a wild olive branch, were grafted in among them, and have come to share in the rich root of the cultivated olive tree, don't brag that you're better than those branches. But if you do brag, you do not sustain the root, but the root sustains you. Then you'll say, branches were broken off so that I might be grafted in. True enough, they were broken off by unbelief, but you stand by faith. Don't be arrogant, but be afraid. For if God didn't spare the natural branches, he won't spare you either. What should our attitude be? Behold therefore the goodness and severity of God. On them which fell, severity, but towards you, goodness, if you continue in his goodness. Otherwise you also shall be cut off, and they also, if they abide not still in unbelief, shall be grafted in, for God's able to graft them in again. How long must Israel wait for salvation? For I don't want you, brothers and sisters, to be uninformed of this mystery, so that you'll not be wise in your own estimation, that a partial hardening has happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles has come in. Does this mean Israel's salvation? And in this way all Israel will be saved. As it's written, the deliverer will come from Zion, and he'll turn godlessness away from Jacob. And this is my covenant with them when I take away their sins. While they were once enemies of the gospel, will they eventually obtain mercy? Concerning the gospel, they are enemies for your sake. But concerning the election, they are beloved for the sake of the fathers. For the gifts and the calling of God are irrevocable. For as you were once disobedient to God, yet have now obtained mercy through their disobedience, even so these also have now been disobedient, that through the mercy shown you, they also may obtain mercy. Does God have a plan? For God has imprisoned everyone in disobedience, so he could have mercy on everyone. Oh, how great are God's riches and wisdom and knowledge! How impossible it is for us to understand his decisions and his ways. For who can know the Lord's thoughts? Who knows enough to give him advice? And who's given him so much that he needs to pay it back? For everything comes from him, and exists by his power, and is intended for his glory. All glory to him forever. Amen. Why did God remove certain branches from the natural olive tree, Israel? Why graft in wild olive branches, Gentiles? Why plan to graft the natural olive branches back in? For God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. The whole world is included. Will you accept God's invitation? You decide.